I trust you won't mind if we continue our investigation now, Mr. President. I hereby officially and unreservedly confirm my approval. Consider a gesture of magnanimity and generosity, of which my good office is known. Yes, for its noble acts such as these. Unmistakably and irrefutably, for which reason I therefore can know as our outcome, for our goals and lofty on our hearts. People of Zengba, I swear to you here and now, investigation will continue. All that when he could have just said, okay, you got me. Mr. Knight, if you care to return the evidence. Yeah, we got nothing. Take it. Case evidence retrieved from Mr. Knight. Did it, Mr. Edgeworth? We sure did. And now the investigation can continue. Whatever. Enjoy a pocket full of pawns. I'll be over here enjoying how you put them into play. You will definitely enjoy my next move. Mr. President, one more favor if you'd be so kind. What is it? Could you please give us your testimony concerning the incident itself? Now you want me to testify? Whoa, that's your next move? You want the president to testify? You have to take him to court. All in good time, Mr. Knight. We will get his day in court soon enough. But if a person of interest refuses to cooperate in the investigation stage of the process, they are obliged to provide a detailed justification as to their reason for doing so. What's the matter? Is there something you'd rather we didn't know? Stand down, Knight. Do as the prosecutor asks. Thank you for your cooperation. Now listen, and listen well. Where was I when an incident occurred? The stage, of course. Suddenly, Rook and Knight jumped in front of me. Then, bang! A shot went out, and a plain, unblemished balloon of red pop exploded nearby. Plain, unblemished balloon of red exploded nearby. Was the first shot at the Steel Samurai balloon? Not hesitating for an instant, my bodyguard tried to escort me back into the safety of the plane. Then the second shot. The bullet went right through Rook and lodged itself into the bulletproof vest I was wearing. I guess if you look at it in one way, the president is also the victim here. Yes, the victim of attempted assassination. Rook was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. That makes it even weirder. Why would a target of a crime try to obstruct the investigation? My guess is that there's something behind all this that he doesn't want made public. Cover up, huh? I knew there was more to this case than meets the eye. And the president isn't the only one who knows the truth. Isn't that right, Mr. Knight? Time to get to the bottom of this once and for all.
Hold it!
About that red balloon. Are you trying to test me, Mr. Prosecutor? No, Mr. President. I'm simply wishing to confirm what you remember. Very well. They're two very large, very round balloons, one on either side of the stage. The deep crimson hues stood stark against the sky, just as the security plan said they would. The same security plan we found in the trash, I assume. Rook and Knight leapt to my aid just before the balloon exploded.
If I may ask, what was the victim like in that moment?
He was a man amongst men, a real hero. The mere impact of the bullet took my breath away, yet he had the strength to grab me and rush me back into the presidential plane.
So you and the victim entered the plane together, is that correct?
Yes, he offered a noble protection, and I gladly accepted it. All was it as it should be. That sounds nice and all, but it doesn't mean he's always the first to make his escape.
He is the president detective. It's basically his job, and his job is to do so.
Nothing he's saying seems to be too off, Mace. Gas the victim here. Wouldn't make much sense for him to lie to us, you know. Guess we gotta assume he's telling the...
No. One thing he said is clearly wrong. Think back to the scene of the crime.
Huh? Did we miss something? Alright, let me see that evidence again.
Might as well take another look myself.
Yeah, like... Well, the balloon's... Like, it's only the bottom part of the balloon that's red. I think the unblemished part is probably pretty.
Objection!
You say it was a plain red balloon that burst, but I strongly beg to differ.
What?
Take a look at this. I think you'd agree it's hardly a plane. Would you agree?
Oh. Who is that?
Mr. President, meet the Steel Samurai. I would have hoped you might have recognized him, especially if you were hoping to integrate yourself with the people of this country.
Yeah, you need to watch Jim Ninja too. He's amazing.
So you see, the balloon was struck by a bullet. Was anything but plain. It was in fact of the Steel Samurai.
So what? But the briefing mentioned 2 plain red balloons. And there they are, on the security plan. They do look pretty plain, don't they? They're simple round balloons. Knight, what is the meaning of this? Explain yourself.
Yes, Mr. President. Seems the Steel Samurai balloon was borrowed at the last minute, sir. Borrowed? That's what we were told. Guess they'll reported the incident to his bodyguard, sir. There was a little trouble here on site last night. One of the original balloons burst somehow.
We swapped it in as an emergency replacement?
Yeah, one of the stall holders happened to have it. From what I hear, he was more than willing to lend it out. A very happy-go-lucky guy, they said. A happy-go-lucky stall holder with a Steel Samurai balloon to spare. Something smells, so it's probably the box.
They just filled the bottom part of the balloon up with air to make it look like it.
Oh. Oh.
That's interesting. They filled the bottom part of the balloon up with air to make it look like the ornamental balloon.
So while it was the Steel Samurai balloon, it was made to look plain red one above water. Is that the long and short of it?
Not. Why was I not informed of this?
Sorry, sir. We didn't think it was a pressing issue. And indeed, you saw it and knew no difference, correct?
Yes, I suppose so.
But you really have mistaken the Steel Samurai's pants for a plain red balloon. Still, Mr. President, I struggle to see how you wouldn't have noticed something different about the balloon.
Of course. course.
What was that outburst for?
Now I remember. Could barely see the balloon.
You couldn't see it.
That's right, the wind was blowing too hard. Flags to the side of the stage were flapping incessantly and blocking my view.
Is that so? I pointed this out earlier. You can see the flag there. The flags are blowing in the opposite direction of the plans. What these plans are showing.
Yes, those two flags.
Okay, so now they're showing that. Okay.
They're blown back toward me.
It would have been a strong wind blowing right around the time of the incident. So remember to move the flags in such a fashion. Of course it does. Thank you, Mr. President. Your testimony has revealed yet another contradiction.
It has?
Yes. A contradiction that would turn the entire case on its head. Yeah, if the balloons were, the flags are both pointed that way, that would mean the bullet came from the side. It came from a completely different trajectory than what we expected. When I arrived on the scene, the wind had died down, and the flags were resting calmly for the most part. But the wind had previously been blowing the flags as the president described. A certain piece of evidence suddenly takes on a very different meaning. This piece of evidence contradicts the stated conditions.
Take that!
Earlier, we deduced that the bullet was struck to steel samurai balloon. And the bullet that passed through the flag were one and the same. From these two things, we further deduce that the trajectory of that bullet must have taken. And we concluded that our shooter must have fired from the left side of the spectator area. But the flags were blowing as the president describes, our conclusion becomes quite different. Shot came from behind.
No way. The flags are pointed in the other direction.
Exactly. Our trajectory changes completely. And if we trace the trajectory back to its source, we can ascertain who really fired that shot.
But Mr. Edwards, that would mean...
Wait a minute.
Hey buddy, what you got your hand there for? If you look over here, this hand's not doing anything. Look at that. You hiding a gun back there, buddy? You hiding a gun back there? Wait, that would mean...
Yes, I know. We may not yet understand the reason why, but it can only have been one person who did it.
And they just make it so obvious.
Take that!
The person who fired that shot was none other than you, Mr. Knight.
What?
The pass from the balloon back through the flag leads directly to the spot you were standing.
This guy's one of the president's bodyguards. Why the heck would he go around shooting balloons?
This is absurd.
What exactly are you trying to imply? That Mr. Knight, a man who has saved my life countless times, is my would-be assassin.
Seriously, Edwards. We've put up with a lot from you, but this? We're President Wayne's bodyguards. Where's the pieces put on the board to protect the king?
We'll handle this night. I'll handle this night.
Sorry, sir.
Mr. Edwards, the wind was indeed blowing quite fiercely around that time of my speech. For the wind could pick up and die at any instant, can adopt me. Therefore, I need proof. Proof that it was went hard enough to lift up flags during that crucial moment.
First shot was fired right around the time the president raised his fist. I have a piece of evidence that shows just that. Perhaps that can also show us what happened with the flag then, too.
Take that!
Your proof is in this picture right here.
This should be good. Which picture? Where?
You can see which way the flag was really blowing right here.
Take that!
Well, do you deny that it clearly shows the flag? There we have it. Proof that it was blowing toward you at the moment of the shooting.
So that means our pal over there did shoot the balloon. Making him the assassin?
Mr. Knight. Here's the problem, though. We only heard 2 shots fired. 2 shots were fired out of that pistol, unless 2 of the shots were at the same time. But I don't know if he's the assassin. He definitely did fire a shot. So I was on the right track. I was thinking like maybe this is what the game wants. No, he actually is. Mr. Knight is not the assassin. He may have shot the balloon, but the president was on the other side of him entirely. Therefore, he can't have been aiming at his boss. Yeah. Why would he even shoot the balloon? What would the point be? What would be the point? And watch how you answer, or it might aim for something else next. Sir, you're threatening our lives. You can't do that. There was a point, I'm sure of it. If I can figure out what it was, perhaps I can finally put this whole conundrum to rest. Knight definitely shot the balloon. That fact alone changes everything about the case. Why did Knight's assigned position change?
I told you, can't turn my neck to the right. I can only cover the president's left side.
I can only cover the president's left side. I keep changing his voice. You need to keep it. I keep changing. So why not move to the right side of the stage? Is that the only reason? Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to shoot that balloon from the other side. But what was so significant about that side's balloon? Let's suppose that the plan hadn't changed, and that Knight had remained posted on the left. Given that he was unable to turn his head to the right, would he even have been able to shoot the balloon closest to him? Could it be that the security plan was changed for this express purpose of popping one of the balloons? And if we suppose that to be the case, oh, that's the other. Because the pawns were there, one of them would end up getting hit too. The 2 plans are different. Was the security detail reorganized at some point? Yeah, we made some last minute changes yesterday. President's orders. That's right, the president was the one who ordered the change. Wait. Are you serious? If I'm reading things right, the president knew in advance about the balloon shooting. Which means he must have had foreknowledge that he would be in someone's crosshairs today as well. If that's true, then everything else has been bothering that has falls neatly into place. How did a shooter get a gun past such heavy security? And why would they then carry out the shooting wearing such a conspicuous item of clothing? Why use a laser sight that would give away their location in an instant? And how did the president suffer no injuries at all despite the direct hit to his vest? These are all the questions that Knight and the President don't want us to consider. There is only one possible reason for Mr. Knight to have fired his gun. To create the illusion of an assassination attempt. What? Huh? Idiot. Do you understand what you're saying? Oh, I understand all too well. I understand everything now. Most of all, I understand why you were so keen to take this investigation off my hands, Mr. President. You wanted your real plans to remain hidden.
How dare you speak to me that way? Is this some sort of sick joke?
What's his endgame plan here? Like, what does he gain from setting up a fake assassination attempt? Oh, it's no joke, I assure you. It's simply the truth, as revealed by the careful application of logic and reasoning. Nothing more. The first shot was fired by Mr. Knight with the specific intention of hitting that balloon. The sound of the gunfire and bursting the balloon were guaranteed to cause panic. And then he fired again.
He did?
Yes. He fired 2 bullets, both of which were aimed at the balloon. As for why he did so, because the second shot was designed to create the impression that the president had been hit.
So then, what's the deal with the one in the vest?
I'm willing to bet that bullet was planted there long before the shooting ever occurred.
So Mr. Heroic President didn't take a bullet after all. That's not true. I was shot, I tell you.
We'll be able to verify that ourselves once we take a closer look at the bullet. At the very least, we can expect to find traces of Mr. Rook's blood on it, correct?
That is a good way of figuring that out. But you said it yourself. You found the shooter wearing a photograph of the person in the red hood.
Objection!
I thought I made myself clear. The trajectory pointed to the only one possible shooter, Mr. Knight.
And where does Tabby fit in all of this? Tabby's in on it. Tabby has to be in on it.
She was simply one part of their plan. In order to place their suspicion elsewhere, they set about creating a fake assassin. The highly suspicious person was the red hood. I've yet to ascertain exactly how complicit Miss Lloyd was in the whole scheme. But I can say with some confidence that none of the shots that were fired by her. I suspect her only job was to point a laser sight at the president.
That's right. Then I was...
Tasked with turning your jacket inside out in the moment the crowd flew into panic, yes. Thus making the mysterious red-hooded shooter disappear disappear in the blink of an eye. Then, when the gun and the security plan were later found in the trash can, it would all have appeared to have been the work of an assassin, so skilled they could vanish into thin air.
And the whole case would have gone cold.
Exactly what our friends here were hoping for. Makes sense how they wanted you off the case. Indeed, because the entire affair was a cheap ruse perpetrated by the president himself.
It's not over yet, though.
What the heck? Rest in peace, this guy's dignity. Like, what the heck? He's actually fat. He's not muscular. He got my beer belly out. No, the presidential mask has well and truly slipped. Admit it, the entire assassination was a lie, wasn't it? It was that if that stupid chief prosecutor hadn't insisted on assigning you. How could I let this happen?
Objection!
He gets a voice line?
Objection.
That's enough, Edgeworth. Mr. Knight? Sorry, but I'm speaking with the president right now.
Yeah, well, I'm doing my job.
In protecting my king. So go ahead, keep running your mouth. Perhaps it would be better if we stuck to threatening each other with words.
He wouldn't, would he?
Nah, I don't need this thing to shut you up.
Alright, my move. Question.
You claim I fired my gun from on stage.
How do you figure I did that in front of a crowd of thousands?
An excellent point. Time for my counter move, I suppose. You had a certain something that allowed you to conceal your actions.
Certain something, huh? Mighty specific.
What did Mr. Knight use to hide his actions?
Take that!
My attached case. Yes, take a look at case photograph. Your right hand is completely obscured by the case. The very moment this picture was taken, you were firing your gun. In such a way that you wouldn't be detected.
Objection!
Dude. You don't like the fact that it gets in way good theory, do you, Mr. Shame you don't seem to have noticed. Noticed what?
Those theories are all you have. Conjectures and nothing more.
The flag was billowing in the wind. In precisely the right moment, I hit my gun with my attached case. We changed the security plan because I couldn't turn my head. It's all just speculation, circumstantial evidence at best. You can't prove any of it. If you at least had the bullet that burst the balloon, maybe a scrap of the credibility. Imagine you could have run forensics and see if it matched my gun. But no, that bullet is at the bottom of the lake. Couldn't you go dredge it up? I hate to say it, but he's right. I don't have anything concrete. I thought not. Maybe now you can shut your mouth. Miss Lloyd? course. She could shed some light on this whole situation. I just need to get her to talk.
What's the matter? Something you want to say, Miss Journalist? Never mind. That's what I thought.
Miss Lloyd. I need you to be brave. If you don't speak up, the truth will be lost forever. You are a journalist after all, are you not?
Dang it. I can't stay quiet any longer. Hey, you understand what you're doing, right? I'd think carefully before you opened up mouth of yours. I'm so focused on banging me a scoop. Got the most important thing of all. Real journalists don't lie. Ain't no dang scoop gonna if I ain't telling the truth. Sorry, Mr. Edwards. I should have showed you this before.
So she just has a laser pointer. It's not a gun at all. So the gun in the trash is a red herring? Question mark. What is it?
It's a laser pointer I used on the president. That's all I done. I never shot nobody. You stupid. I thought you told you didn't squeal. You go down as an accomplice. It was him I told you. He told me to do it. It was Zingfa's embassy sniffing out a story like I told you. This was 3 days back. He came up to me out of the blue and just started talking. Help me out. I'll get you exclusive access to the president. That kind of stuff.
What about the gun in the trash can?
That I don't know nothing about, I swear it. All he told me was to wear a jacket with a red hood and to point their pointer at the president. I never saw for a minute it'd blow up in my face so bad. I'm sorry, I truly am.
Thank you, Miss Lloyd. I'd like for you to testify to that effect when this goes to trial. It ought to go a long way towards proving that the assassination was a sham.
What's wrong with you people? Don't any of you know what's good for you?
My sympathies, Mr. Knight. Had you successfully removed me from the case as you intended, perhaps then you could have kept your pawn quiet.
Let me get this straight. You told Tabby, if you let slip about our fake assassination plot, we'll have you convicted for murder? Or something like that? Of all the dirty. I said no such thing.
President Wang? Give up, Knight. It's time we came clean. It's our only choice. So, Mr. President, you admit it. You admit that there was a plot to fake an assassination attempt. I do. I'm sorry.
Why? Why do something like that?
My popularity has been on the wane back home. I thought surviving an attempt on my life might give me a boost I needed. I know what we did was wrong. So yes, it was all lies, all of it.
Then why is Rook dead? Why is Rook not alive anymore?
And the bullet in the vest? That was planned ahead of time. I wasn't hit by anything today.
But then, what was up with the killer?
Our plan got out somehow. And he just appeared, hell-bent on turning a fake assassination into a real one.
Hence the red raincoat, I suppose. He'd hoped to get in close enough as a fake assassin to finish the job.
There is one thing I don't understand, though.
Oh, what would that be?
Why did Rook have to die? The whole thing was fake. How did he wind up getting killed for real?
Yeah, who killed him? It has to be Knight, right? It doesn't seem like what President Wang did. It has to be Knight to some degree.
That's true. Therein lies the real question. He was a fine bodyguard. The best, in fact. He may not have been a native of St. Fa, but he was someone I could fully trust. I'm just gonna be over here, glancing over to the side, hoping you guys don't notice me or question me any further on this. 'Cause I'm totally guilty, but I don't want to say it, and I don't want to fight it. Mr. Rook must have been really something to gain trust with someone who'd hide from his own shadow.
Sounds like it was as trustworthy as the president and I am to you, sir, huh?
I believe that's for me to say, Detective, not you. Mr. Rook must have known about the plan too, then, correct? He wasn't aware of any specific details, so not really. I tried to involve him, but he refused. And you would have done well to listen to him. This is a tragedy. The life of a good man has been wasted. What was so great about him anyway? What's gotten into him? Just another piece on the board. There's nothing to protect you. Nothing there to protect you. Nothing more. Mr. Knight, how could you? Who was it that actually went along with your plan, huh, Mr. President? Well, that pious coward was back down when you needed him to step up the most. I value your support too, of course, but... Look, I'm your chief bodyguard now. That's all that matters. Now that spineless fool Rook is gone, things are going to change around here. Next to me, genius strategist, grandmaster, rightful leader of this team. We're all well aware of your ambitions, Mr. Wright. But doesn't this seem a little impertinent to you? Why? My plan this time was perfect. They always are, and they always will be. That's quite a statement. Especially considering that your perfect plan was an abject failure. Yeah, no thanks to you, and that buffoon Rook. And how exactly was it Mr. Rook's fault? If he hadn't died, the killer would never have come to me. And I would have and I wouldn't have let you on this plane. Please, Mr. Knight, you mustn't talk like that. Fine. The guy died protecting you, Mr. President. I'm sure that's just what he always wanted. But did he die protecting the president?
Wait, I thought the whole assassination thing was a fake.
Come on, do I have to say everything twice? We planned a fake assassination, but somebody else came along and tried to make it real. 2 shots were fired, remember? Like you said, Edgeworth, one of them was the bullet I shot through the balloon. But the second, that wasn't me. Oh, really? Then who did fire it? The real assassin, but not the killer. His plan was to come after the president with a knife. No, the most likely suspect here is that piece cowering quietly in the corner. Our lily white queen over there. What? Dude, shut up. Like, we can't look at the body right now, but it's so freaking obvious that he died right here. It's so obvious he died here. He was shot and killed here. It's so freaking obvious.
Miss Lord?
Again with this. I'm not your dang assassin. But is that really true? I, for one, don't believe it. A gun in a trash can can only belong to you. As soon as I shot the balloon, I rushed over to help Rook escort the president back onto the plane. I left Rook here in his room while I secured the president in his safe room. Rook came back out. Rook was lying on the floor, lying there on the ground. Miss Jones must have shot Rook while we were escorting the president off stage. That single kill shot was fired from the gun you found in the trash can. So you don't actually know when the victim was struck by a bullet, do you? A knight doesn't protect the rook, Edgeworth. He protects the king. You want to translate? It means that his only concern was protecting the president. Lose the king and you lose the game. Isn't that the first rule of chess? But a win in which the key piece is sacrificed is a hollow victory indeed. Doesn't matter. It's still a victory. I kept the president safe. I win. Well, it's a bit early to be calling our little match in any case. For this is where our battle really begins.